Welcome, paranormal enthusiasts, to this week's episode of Creepin It Reel, here on the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network, where everyone comes for their paranormal fix. Real people, real stories, in real time. So glad you could join us for some ghostly gab. I'm your host, Eleanor Wagner.
As always, I appreciate you hitting the subscribe tab, follow button, or show app on your podcast of choice. Everybody give a hello shout out to our coast to coast techie, Crispy Bacon. He'll be working hard tonight to help us run smoothly. Tonight's guests are part of a team of investigators from North Carolina who investigate residential and non residential locations. They started meeting in July of 2021 with members mostly made up of psychic mediums. Please join me in welcoming Tammy and Alex from North Carolina Investigators of the Paranormal. Welcome, guys.
How you doing?
And as I understand it, we might have Chuck join us if he gets here in time, right?
Yeah.
He's here.
Well, if he comes, he'll just work his way into the program.
There we go.
So, as I understand it, Tammy, you are the founder and leader, with Alex and Chuck being your co-leaders and sidekicks.
Yes.
What incentivized you to begin a paranormal group in the first place?
So my house I'm living in now is still is haunted. And I've always had like haunted experiences when I was growing up. When I was 16, I moved into this house with my parents and started getting more activity as I was growing up. And it came to Oz that I was seeing things and hearing stuff that normal people aren't supposed to see and hear. And I actually joined a paranormal group. And I unfortunately got kicked out, or I left. Actually, sorry, I left. And more because I found that I was actually a psychic medium, and that my leader did not like the fact that I had all the power and control over him. So I just left, and I told my co-founder Megan, I said, "Hey, let's go start our own paranormal team," and this is where we are today, 3 years running.
Good for you. Now, the property that you live on, is it the house or is it the land that's got the haunting going on?
It's both. So I have spirits inside and outside of my house.
Did you figure out who they are and where they fit
Yeah.
into the spectrum of things? Please
Yeah.
do share.
So I have a spirit named Mr. Gardner. He's upstairs in the attic most of the time. He was the first spirit I encountered. He is not very happy most of the time. He's actually a very grumpy old man that just doesn't want to be bothered. So I kind of left him alone. He's the first one that kind of showed me the signs of I was being a medium. And then I have some spirits in the back that are not allowed in my house because I formed a barrier around my house that they cannot come in because of their attitude or the way they treat somebody. So if I'm getting attacked at night, they get pushed out into the yard. I don't care. I don't care. They're not allowed in my house. If they're going to affect my sleep and affect the way I live, they're not allowed in here.
Are you self-taught or have you taken classes to enhance on your abilities?
So I have a mentor. She helps me a lot with psychic stuff and medium stuff. She describes it to me sometimes if I'm having a paranormal experience in a way. She'll help me decipher between psychic or if it's medium skills. And she'll help me with my spirits in my house as well, getting them handled. It all varies on what kind of entity or spirit that's in my house or around my house that we have to deal with. So she helps me. I learn from her.
Well, that's good. We all learn from each other. That's the whole name of the game, right? Helping each other out. Alex, what's your background? How is it that you became a paranormal buff?
So I've always been, interested in the see the beyond. That's what I used to call it. And me and Chuck, we actually started our own little group, and we would just go around different places, finding places, seeing okay, what's here, what's not here, hearing about all these stories, all these like different places around us, and we just then we found Tammy. Well, I found Tammy first, and we got to talking. I joined the group. I told her, "Hey, I got a good friend. I think he'd be great for the team as well." Um, I'm the one that actually showed Tammy Trivet. So, because me
Please
and Chuck,
explain trivet.
the Trivet Clinic,
Okay.
because me and Chuck went there and have been there numerous times to where they know us personally,
Okay.
owners
Now,
and
are you sensitive to the both you guys, and do you use specific equipment, or how do you conduct your paranormal investigations when you do that?
back whenever we started, we just used our phones, really, just
Hmm.
the recordings of the phones. We just sat down, asked questions, gave it like 10 minutes, a 10-minute recording session, go back, see if we could hear anything, or we just take pictures, see if we could see anything. Um, I didn't really start buying equipment till about 2 years ago, about 2020, 2021.
What did you invest in? What did you
Oh,
go for? You.
I bought like cameras, EMF detectors. Uh, I recently just got me a REM pod, um, a spirit box was like my number one thing that I got.
Yeah, they're fun to use.
Yeah, yeah. I
And are
lost
you
my.
sensitive to spirit? Have you seen and felt it in your past?
Oh yeah.
Tell me what happened.
So growing up, I'd see things out of the corner of my eye, and I'd turn and like nothing be there. But most of the time, it was still there, and I'm like, you're not supposed to, you're not supposed to be here. And then that's when Tammy told me, is like, I think she was told me like a couple months ago. She's like, "Oh yeah, you're psychic." I was like, "Oh,
And
makes sense. Makes sense."
in
Of
October,
everything.
he got nominated as a psychic medium,
Yeah.
along with his best friend Chuck.
So
So
you're
I've
learning and
always,
trying to expand on your gifts too, huh?
yeah. So I've always had like that little special connection with the spirit world.
Right. Well, you're a fairly new group, but you've already done a number of investigations in your area.
Hmm.
And you mentioned the Devil's Tramping Ground. What's that all about? Can you tell us a little history about what the Devil's Tramping Ground is?
Oh.
Okay, so I'll tell it since Alex probably doesn't want to tell it, but I I we went to the Devil's Tramping Grounds. Someone else in our group got it, and we were like, okay, we'll do Devil's Tramping Grounds. I was on my way there, but Alex told me later on, like over almost a year in after, that he face planted against the ground, like for no reason. Stand up, went to go get something out of his car, went back, and he just face planted.
Mm,
When I got there, I got real dizzy inside the circle. That's supposed to be like really bad if you step into. Um, I got really dizzy. So I could tell why he face planted, because for me, just standing in the circle, it was really bad dizziness. I don't know where it was from, but it got me. It got me in it.
where's the Devil's Tramping Ground located?
It's in Bear Creek, North Carolina.
And what's its history? What's it all about?
So the history behind it is that supposedly on, I think it's on Halloween or at 3 o'clock in the morning, or I may be getting the story wrong. But supposedly the devil, there's a circle that nothing grows on it. Nothing ever grows on it. It's just sand and dirt. That's it. Um, the owners have tried to plant something up there and nothing will grow. But supposedly the devil likes to dance on top of the circle, from what the stories have made it out to be. There is a lot of witchcraft and there is a lot of stuff that does happen there. The owners luckily have kept it up, have locked it down. They have gotten psychic mediums and paranormal investigators out there and kind of took charge of the land, because there is some trespassers out there that will do spells inside the circle.
Oh boy.
So yeah, they have, they've done a very good job. They've done a very, very good job. So
Yeah, you
I
definitely
mean,
don't want people who are trespassing and messing with that stuff, because it could just let in things you don't want to
yeah.
have to deal with.
But before we even did the investigation, the owners came out. I wasn't there yet, but I heard this from my team. The owners came out and said that there is a witch that came by and pierced a cow tongue against the tree, and what that meant, that is meant to do is to silence somebody, not to speak. Not,
Um,
yeah, don't tell secrets in a way.
hmm.
It's black magic.
So
So
you said you guys experienced dizziness in the circle, and he got a face plant.
After, like I said, after that, I felt fine afterwards.
Did you catch any recordings or um, anything of
yeah,
substance?
so later on that night, yeah, later on that night we did a SS method, and he was the one that wanted to do it. Let him do it. He started speaking in like Cherokee or Native American. I was like, whoa, I don't know this language. I'm Cherokee, and I don't know this language. Um, so, and we did feel, me and him both felt something behind him, but we didn't catch anything really that magnificent on camera, because it's hard to decipher between the woods and a spirit, especially if you're outside paranormal investigations. It's kind of hard.
Yeah.
So
Well, you did. You said you did Lydia's bridge. Lydia's bridge,
yes,
and that clearly that must be outside, right?
it's outside, but it's in a tunnel. It's like just a tunnel of
Where's that? Where's that location?
Jamestown, North Carolina.
Jamestown, North Carolina. And what's the history on that location?
Oh, Lydia's Bridge. From what I know from reading the stories, I may get the story wrong, but it's kind of the same thing. But Lydia was coming back with her boyfriend to a prom or wherever they were going, and this was in the 1800s, I believe. I'm not sure. Um, but Lydia and her boyfriend um, got into a fight, and she got kicked out of the car, I believe, or they wrecked. I'm not sure on which story to believe. I've heard two different stories. Um, but they got into a wreck, I believe, and Lydia was not fully passed away. She still lived, but when she went to the hospital, she passed. Um, and a lot of people say that Lydia comes up to their cars, messes with their engine, or she will sit out there late at night waiting for people to come up and ask if she can have a ride home.
I love that when that happens.
Yeah, ask if
I
she
love
has
those stories.
a ride home. They take her to her house and she just vanishes out of the car. Like there's nothing.
Unsolved
So
Mysteries did a story on the tsunamis. I think it was in, I want to say like Korea or Japan or something like that when they had the tsunamis.
Yeah, that's
And
Japan.
so, it was Japan, right? And so many
Yeah.
people passed away. And so it created all these hauntings of these people that died in this traumatic event. And so it's become well known that the taxi drivers in the area would actually be picking up ghostly victims from the tsunami asking to be brought to their homes. And when they arrive at their homes, they turn around and they'd be going from their cars, which is really, really interesting.
Yeah, Lydia does that a lot. Alex,
Is that Chuck?
Alex, if you and Chuck are going to
Yeah,
talk,
Chuck. Tell him we're on live. He's got to be quiet or come and join the conversation.
Exactly. Yeah, be quiet or come join.
You're messing us up over here, dude. We're live on
Messing
national
us up.
television.
Yeah.
So when you were at Lydia's Bridge, what all happened?
well, me and Chuck were there. Alex had to go to work. But me and Chuck kind of felt this uneasiness about the bridge. Like we didn't really like. There's two separate bridges. So there's one with the road, of course, and then there's another side of the bridge with the pavement. That bridge felt uneasy. It felt like there was something there that wanted to tell its story, but we couldn't pick up on what it was. It wasn't Lydia. It was somebody else. And I have a feeling that somebody else has passed away there besides just Lydia. And more likely it has because it's a bridge. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I couldn't even sense Lydia. I couldn't feel her. So
how far would you say the drop is on the bridge?
Not even a 2-story.
So if somebody were to jump off of it, they would survive?
Yeah. So I don't know really what happened. Maybe we were in a bad, it's kind of a bad part of town, kind of not. So you never know what's going to happen in a bad side of town.
True.
So, I mean, I'm not sure. I was over by a church. That's all I know. I was over by a church in a bridge. So,
have you guys ever decided to try frequenting cemeteries in the day or at night?
We do.
Yeah, because they're great. You can get some really good catches. I've gotten some great things in cemeteries before.
Well, I particularly like to go to cemeteries because it's very peaceful.
Yeah, I love cemeteries.
It's very peaceful. Yeah.
Yeah. But you'd be surprised how many of them come out.
Oh yeah.
It's great.
We're actually going to do Elm City Cemetery in the summertime. I've already got permission from one of my officers that I know. So, yeah.
What's Gravity Hill? You mentioned something about Gravity Hill.
Gravity Hill is, best way to explain it, it's just this road that you put it in neutral and it goes like, I don't know how to explain it. Alex, how do you explain something? Explain Gravity Hill.
Gravity Hill space. So basically what I heard, I feel like it's the same thing as most places like that.
Magnetic pull or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a magnetic pull. It's like it's supposed to be a flat surface, but you put your car in neutral and you're supposed to get pushed up a hill.
Yeah.
And so you guys you've gone there before?
Yeah.
And did that happen to you or no?
Yes, it did. It went on for like a good 2-3 miles.
Yeah.
So what do you think it is? Do you think it's like a portal, or do you think it's just something in the earth, underneath the Earth's surface that's creating this pull?
There could be a portal there, but I didn't feel anything demonic or anything like that. I didn't feel anything that's going to gravitate me. I didn't feel any spirits at all there.
I don't know. I think it's just like, maybe it's like just the road, the way it is, the way it looks. It may look flat, but you got that little bit of a divot that's going to get your car up and going. And I could be wrong, but
I mean, from what the legend,
hear what other people have experienced there,
Yeah.
So I know that you do actual paranormal investigations, and we know that all these programs are on TV and stuff. And it sometimes makes you wonder what you can believe and what you can't believe. Ooh, how do you feel like a real paranormal investigation differs from the ones that they show us on television?
It depends on which one, which paranormal investigation team. Be honest with you, I like some of them. I like most of them actually. It's just some of them are more enthusiastic with different stuff, and I'm like, why are you enthusiastic about this? But yeah, it's if that's the way they investigate, that's the way they investigate. I can't control them. So.
And how do you feel about orbs?
We catch them all the time.
Yeah.
I know there's a big debate in the paranormal world.
Either orbs
Isn't it
or
an
puss.
orb? Isn't it an orb? And to make a divide people a lot, but I believe in the existence of the orbs, and we catch them all the time too. So
yeah,
you know. But I really don't care if somebody says it's not an orb, that's something else, and I just really don't care, because if you're there as a team and one of you is a psychic medium who's connecting with spirit, and then another one of you is getting something on camera, and you're seeing orbs fly in front of you, it's undeniably something.
Yeah.
It's not just an orb. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. We've caught about 6, 7, but we're really good at debunking them. If we do see it like an orb per se, and it's really just us, so we're really just good at debunking if it's an orb or not.
And
if
you got to be able to do that too, right?
Sorry.
You got to be able to do that too, debunk.
Yeah.
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 You brought 3 photos with you. I'm going to have Chris put one up each at a time, and then you can tell us where it was and what it is that you caught on camera. Okay. All right, Chris, so you want to put one of the first ones up, please? There you go. Thank you.
That's a good one to start with.
Okay, so first off, where was this taken, this picture?
This was at the Trivia Clinic in Hamptonville.
And what's the history of that clinic?
So the Trivia Clinic was a doctor's office run by Dr. Trivett. He was the only doctor there. It was also a detox center. Oh, Alex, help me out.
It was like a detox center, a supper club, a nursing home.
Yeah.
It had many uses.
Yes.
A dentist's office.
Old building?
Yeah. Not really old.
It's not old when you go in there. It looks old from the outside. So. But
what's it supposed to be haunting there?
A bunch of patients, nurses, the Dr. Trivett is supposed to be there as well.
Get a whole bunch of kids.
Yeah, a whole bunch of kids that were there. There's it's not just in the house either. It's out in the yard too. Everything,
so the property as well.
The whole property is haunted. So.
And what are we seeing in this picture here?
So we believe this is a spirit named Majesty, but we've also gotten other people say that it resembles a little boy named Cody. Or no, not Cody. Billy. Sorry. And we believe it's Majesty because if you look in her hands, it looks like she's carrying a ball. And one of the main things that Majesty does when you go and see her is that if you hold a ball in the palm of your hand, she'll actually hit the ball out of your hand.
Cool. Did you guys try it out?
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't work for us. It never worked for us.
Oh, it didn't work for you? No, too bad. You have a camera rolling and you try it. I mean, usually it's great when you have a cat ball. The cat balls work really good. It's the cheapest thing you can buy, but they really seem to be good triggers with spirit. And regular flashlights work really great too, to get them to turn on and off the lights. So, but too bad it didn't work for you. All right, Chris, you want to put up another picture for us? Okay, where was this one taken? This
was at Gold Hill. Me and Alex did not go down to the Powder House. From supposedly that's supposed to be haunted. Me and Alex did not go down there because we've had spiritual attacks based off of just going down there to the powder house. And the powder house is just this big, open, one single like tunnel or cave in a way, where they used to store gunpowder for the war. But we caught this over by the softball field before we enter into the woods to go to the powder house. We caught, I got from other readings from psychic mediums because I can't feel them. So a lot of people say that it's a couple, and other people say it's just really strange and really weird spirits that just watching me and Alex. So,
What prompted you to take the picture?
I just felt something, and I was like, let me see something real quick. And because what I do when I take pictures, I'll do like 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take one, give it like 3 seconds, take another one,
Mm-hmm.
same spot, just to see if there really is anything there. Because I was feeling something, like, because we were sitting up there, that's probably like 40, 50 yards away, 60 yards away. So I had to zoom in, and because I felt like something was sitting there staring at me through the trees, and I was like, let me just see something real quick, and that's what I caught.
And so it prompted you to snap away. I usually do like in sets of 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then by the time I get home, I've got like 100 pictures I got to go through. But you're lucky if you catch one good picture. So what was it that you thought you saw in there? A female, and a male?
Yeah, because I saw, because at first I thought I saw like movement down there. So I was like, okay, somebody like ventured off from the group.
Right.
And I'm like, they shouldn't be doing that. So I snapped a picture, but it was like nothing was there because I saw this all at like the corner of my eye. So I snapped a picture and like nothing was there. So I was like, somebody should be there. You should be able to see somebody.
And you didn't see this then? You saw it later on when you went home and you looked at the pictures, or did you catch it right away?
We saw it right when we were in the car.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. And that last picture, Chris, you want to put that one up? That looks like a female to me, that one. I don't know if I'm mistaken or not, but
a lot of my psychic medium friends, they said that the male stood in front while the female stood in the back. That's a lot.
Where was this one taken?
This was at the same place. It was just in the line. Yeah.
Okay. I wonder where she came from, this female. That's so unusual that.
I don't know.
Yeah, especially if it's a powder station from the war. I mean, I don't know how many females there were. I mean, that's not to say that they weren't there, but it's just, and it could be anybody from any other time, but
it could also have been somebody's house that blew up.
True.
Because a lot of my psychic medium friends have said that they were a couple. They were a couple that stayed together. So
interesting.
It could have been.
They got the couple vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. So what's on your agenda for the months ahead? What you got going on?
So I have 13 people going with me, Chuck, and Alex to Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in Weston. I'm sorry. And Alex said that he's planning something else. I'm not sure what he's planning. I'm kind of scared about it. And then we got USS North Carolina Battleship in September. So we're trying.
What is it that you were planning, Alex, that she's so afraid of?
Can't say.
I'm just afraid of anything.
Say secret.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. Yeah, not supposed to be controlled.
Why don't you tell the listeners how they can find you all and what your social media tags and stuff are?
So we have 2 NCIP accounts on TikTok. So we have NCIP 2023 and we have NCIP 2021. And then we have YouTube, which is North Carolina Investigators of the Paranormal. We have Facebook, which is North Carolina Investigators of the Paranormal. We have a page and a group. I don't know why we have two, but we have two. And then we have Twitch. Also, it's NCIP 2023. I believe that's all the social media, but if it's not, then we'll try to get something done.
When you say you do your YouTube, is somebody like running the camera when you're doing your investigations while you're out?
So we kind of set it up like TikTok, and we kind of like put the iPad. Like I'm on my iPad, but this is technically speaking the group's iPad. I just pay for it. So I take my iPad on investigations, and we set it up into a tripod, and we just kind of let it roll while we're investigating.
So people can kind of watch and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good way. You never know what you can catch.
Mm-hmm. That's why I have that. Okay.
Well, thank you so much for that's all right. Thank you so much for sharing your photos with us tonight in your group. Hopefully, Alex will come up with that surprise eventually, and it all works out.
I got it in the works right now.
Oh, good. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Sorry that Chuck decided not to show his face, but that's okay. No biggie.
Chuck doesn't like me.
We could just go on the YouTube channel and watch the videos with him.
Yeah.
There you go.
So the listeners out there, if you want to see what Chuck looks like, go to their YouTube channel just to check it out.
We have plenty of videos of everybody.
There you go. See? Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on tonight.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Techie Chris. We couldn't do it without you. If you all liked listening to this week's episode and you're into all things paranormal, check out my other show, Eleanor Wagner's Strange and Scary World podcast out of the Paranormal UK radio network, which is available wherever you get your podcasts. You can watch and listen to the uncut version directly on my YouTube channel, Eleanor Wagner. And if any of you are interested in reading any of my books, you can find them on Amazon, but you can get signed copies directly through me at author eleanorwagner@gmail.com. I write about the history of the town and location, add the paranormal story to the mix, and finish it all off with photos and evidence. I'm excited to share that I now have t-shirts available from both my Creepin It Reel podcast and Strange and Scary World podcast. Anyone interested in getting one can email me at authoreleanorwagner@gmail.com. Lastly, viewers, tune in for our next scheduled show when I'll have another exciting paranormal group join me for some ghostly gap. Until then, good night.
I hope you've enjoyed this little journey down my own personal nightmare alley. If you're one of those people who experiences the paranormal and has stories of your own you've been filing away over the years, I want to hear about them. And if you're a part of a paranormal investigative team, even better. I'd love to have you on my show. Got a questionable photo? Send it in. Would love to have an open discussion here amongst the professionals. Reach out to me at authoreleanorwagner@gmail.com. Enjoy our soundtrack music, Headless Horseman by Alexander Nakarada, promoted by freestockmusic.com. And remember, no ghost story is better than a real-life ghost story. Until we meet again, make sure you're creeping it real.